Did the rain always smell this way, like forgotten books and distant thunder? Colonel Gin, once a man of sharp command, now often drifted through moments, his gaze distant, his words a gentle mosaic of present and past. Lyra, his granddaughter, watched him from the doorway, her heart aching as he mused. The river. Did we ever cross it? Days bled into weeks, each sunrise bringing a new layer of fog to the once impenetrable fortress of his mind, eroding the familiar pathways of memory. His family spoke in hushed tones, burdened by the inevitable, the slow farewell. His daughter, Lyra's mother, quietly remarked, "He asked for a map to his own bedroom today." Yet amidst the fading, a peculiar resilience remained, a quiet dignity that refused to be entirely consumed by the encroaching shadows. Lyra often found him in his old study, surrounded by relics of a life once lived with meticulous precision and unwavering purpose. Amongst the stacks, she discovered a collection of his military journals, their covers worn smooth by years of handling, filled with his crisp, deliberate handwriting. Each entry was a testament to a man who lived by an exacting code, a chronicle of his command, his decisions, his unwavering principles. One afternoon, Gin peered at his reflection in a polished medal, a flicker of confusion crossing his face. He then declared with sudden, startling clarity, "A leader's true strength lies not in memory, but in unwavering resolve." Lyra paused, her breath catching in her throat, a peculiar revelation stirring within her as she heard his words, so unlike the usual fragmented discourse. This man, who could not recall his breakfast, had just articulated a core philosophy with crystal precision, echoing the wisdom found within his journals. Perhaps, she mused, memory was not a single, fragile thread, but an intricate tapestry, some threads dissolving while others remained remarkably strong. It was a glimmer of hope in a darkening landscape, a whisper of a different kind of remembrance that might still connect them. Later that week, a difficult family discussion ensued about Jin's care. Lyra's mother sighed deeply, her voice tinged with sorrow as she confessed, "We might need to consider assisted living. He's just not safe anymore." The weight of their decision settled heavily in the room, a silent acknowledgement of their powerlessness against the inevitable. Lyra felt a surge of helplessness, a desperate urge to grasp onto any remaining part of the brilliant man her grandfather once was. That night, she retreated to her room, surrounding herself with Jin's journals, their pages a tangible connection to his past self. She read late into the night, absorbing tales of strategic brilliance, ethical dilemmas, and unwavering leadership, the words painting vivid pictures in her mind. The next morning, she approached Gin with a photograph, a cherished memory from her childhood. She softly asked, "Grandfather, do you remember this day, our picnic by the old willow tree?" Gin squinted at the image, a vague smile forming, but his words betrayed the struggle. He spoke quietly. "The tree, yes, the leaves. But whose faces are these?" A familiar pang of disappointment pierced Lyra's heart, a stark reminder of the void that was growing between them. Then, a moment that shifted everything. Gin looked at Lyra, his faded blue eyes filled with a sudden, profound confusion. He asked, "Who are you, child?" Lyra's world momentarily fractured, the pain of being forgotten by her beloved grandfather, an almost physical blow. Struggling to hold back tears, she recalled a passage from his journal about leadership during crisis. She whispered, "Grandfather, in a sudden ambush, what is a commander's first duty?" Jin's expression instantly sharpened, his posture straightening. He declared, his voice firm and clear, "Assess the threat, secure the perimeter, and protect your people without hesitation." Lyra gasped, a wave of profound understanding washing over her. The facts of his life might be gone, but the principles remained, sharp and untarnished. It was as if his brain, in its valiant struggle, had preserved what truly mattered, carving his values into indelible stone, while lesser details crumbled to dust. Lyra began a new ritual, no longer asking, "Do you remember?" but "What would you do?" or "What is true?" She would pose abstract ethical quandaries, drawing from his journals or even her own day. "Grandfather," she asked one morning, "if faced with a difficult choice between duty and compassion, which path should a leader choose?" Gin paused, his gaze fixed on the distant horizon, a deep thoughtfulness creasing his brow. He finally stated, "True duty always serves compassion. One without the other is tyranny, not leadership." His responses were always profound, delivered with the clarity and conviction of the man she remembered, bypassing the fragmented haze of his memory loss. Lyra's heart swelled with a new kind of hope, a realization that her grandfather was not lost, merely transformed. She meticulously documented each conversation in her journal, the pages filling with his ageless wisdom, a legacy unmarred by time's relentless march. This was the true Colonel Gin, she realized, not the one who remembered names, but the one who remembered how to live. The family continued their discussions about his future, but Lyra now held a secret, a profound truth that would soon challenge their assumptions. At the next family meeting, Lyra presented her journal, her voice steady despite the apprehension. She said, "Grandfather still remembers what truly matters." Skeptical glances met her earnest declaration, their faces etched with polite disbelief and weary sadness. Lyra's mother, her voice gentle but firm, replied, "Sweetheart, we know you love him, but his memory is just gone." Undaunted, Lyra suggested a small experiment. "Let's ask him, not what he remembers, but what he believes is right," she proposed, her gaze unwavering. Reluctantly, they agreed, summoning Colonel Gin to the sitting room, the air thick with anticipation and a fragile hope. Lyra's uncle, a businessman known for his pragmatism, presented a complex ethical dilemma. A new building project that promised profit but displaced a small historic community. He concluded, "Colonel, how would a leader of integrity approach such a decision, weighing growth against legacy?" A hush fell over the room, everyone holding their breath, a collective pause of anticipation. Gin opened his eyes, his gaze startlingly lucid, and he spoke, his voice unwavering. "Growth must never come at the cost of humanity's soul. A leader protects, not exploits, the vulnerable heartbeat of tradition." His words resonated with an ancient truth, echoing the wisdom of generations, delivered with perfect clarity and conviction. A collective gasp rippled through the room as they realized Lyra's astonishing discovery was true. The man they thought lost was profoundly present. His mind, though altered, had selectively preserved the essence of his being, the bedrock of his character. Lyra's mother approached Gin, tears in her eyes, gently taking his hand. She spoke softly, "Father, you are still so wise, more than we ever realized." The family began to see him anew, not as a fading relic, but as a living repository of unwavering principles, a compass in their own moral journey. They learned to ask him not about the past he couldn't recall, but about the future, the right path, the heart of any decision. Lyra continued her role as his interpreter, bridging the gap between his fading personal history and his vibrant, enduring wisdom. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues, Gin looked at Lyra, a gentle smile on his face. He whispered, "The purpose of life, little one, is to leave behind not memories, but principles that guide the next dawn." Lyra held his hand, tears streaming down her face, not of sorrow, but of profound gratitude for the man who was still profoundly present. Colonel Gin found a new kind of peace, his final years not defined by loss, but by the enduring light of his wisdom. And Lyra, his beloved granddaughter, carried his legacy forward, understanding that true remembrance lay not in recalling facts, but in living by enduring truths. For values carved into action, she realized, survive long after facts fade from memory, revealing the profound ancient truth of what it means to truly endure. A testament to a life lived not just in moments, but in immutable principles that echo through the ages, guiding new generations.